I know many of you are struggling with how to bust out from the pressure to conform, the pressure to live your life the way others expect you to live your life. Conformity is everywhere. It's all about big, hairy, audacious goals, transforming your life, unlocking the power of visualization to get you from the couch that you're sitting on watching YouTube to the life in the Philippines that you desire. Welcome to another episode of Fly Me to the Philippines, and join me in my home overlooking the Cagayan de Oro River in Cagayan de Oro, Philippines. You are worthy, and that is the most important thing that you need to keep in mind. Society, our relatives, our jobs, everybody wants us to conform, but you're not watching Fly Me to the Philippines because you're interested in conformity. You have it in mind to bust out. You have it in mind not to conform. You're thinking of a future that might involve living in a gorgeous home for 1/3 or 1/4 the cost of a retirement in America, where money doesn't really add up. You're thinking about being in an age gap relationship with a beautiful Filipina. You're thinking about spending your days golfing, playing cards with the guys, going out to the waterfalls, eating beautiful restaurant meals for 1/3 the cost back home. Now, today, if I could share with you a methodology, if I could give you a frame that would allow you to use the power of visualization to realize your worth, to know that you're the prize, that to know that being true to yourself and not conforming to what others want from you and what others need from you, if I could give you the keys to success, if I could unveil a secret, would you be interested? Would you want to hear more? Would you want to learn how to achieve your vision, to achieve your goal, to transform your life? I've shared with you before that you can be rich in the Philippines. I've shared with you before about the wonderful experience of being invigorated and living with a younger woman in an age gap relationship. We all have these self-defeating mechanisms. We all have this egoic mind, that drunk monkey that's been stung by a scorpion that's trying to drive our ego, that prevented you from achieving some of the other goals that you wanted in your life. We don't just need to know how to achieve our goal. It's more than which SIM card, which bank card, which airport, which Airbnb, which island has the prettiest Filipinas, which country to retire to. It's way more than the how-to. The how-to will come together once you put your desire up front and present, and that you focus from what I did when I used to sit and watch YouTube channels of vloggers in the Philippines, vloggers in Thailand. I transformed my life. I made it happen. Now, this is not about how to make it happen. It's not about which dating site. It's not about how to. It's about what you desire. What is it you desire? We need to really, really identify your goal, your big, hairy, audacious goals. I do some consulting in the morning, and I have one client, I probably should have paid him. He talked to me about the power of vision statements and how really focusing on your goals and your visions and doing it in a methodology that's been proven to work can lead to tremendous success. And I thought back about the businesses that I've launched successfully. I thought back about my journey getting to the Philippines, and everything he said to me just rang true. If you believe it, you can become it. If you believe that it's possible to transform your life, if you believe you can get to the Philippines, if you believe you can be in an age gap relationship, if you believe you can arbitrage your pension and live your best life, you can become it. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to tell you some of the highlights from Earl Nightingale. I'm going to talk to you about this methodology of using a vision statement and how to have a 30-day focus to start the program of visualization about what you want, not how to do it. okay? We have more than enough resources and plenty of help. And you're already watching YouTube, trying to learn how to do it. The problem is conformity and doing what is expected. It's like a glue that's holding you back. You have to deal with your adult children. You have to be the grandfather for your grandchildren. Conformity says you can't leave them. Conformity says you can't leave your children, even though you're divorced, even though you're single. You can't live your best life like me. Conformity says no. Being in an age gap relationship, oh my gosh, what will people think? Conformity is the problem. In order to achieve success, you have to strive for and take actions aimed at what you want to achieve. Don't let conformity be handcuffs that prevent you from achieving what you strive for. Don't blame your circumstances. We all have circumstances. I had circumstances. We all have circumstances. Do not let circumstances and conformity get in your way. There's a famous saying, I think it's biblical, if you believe, so it shall be done unto you. And it's all about belief. It's all about having vision, not about how, but about what it is. What is your vision? And we're going to talk today about this secret, about how to turn vision statements and a 30-day vision plan, and how this can kickstart your transformation. This can be the key for you to achieve what it is you want. We want to create a vision statement. Now, in the old days, when Earl Nightingale was telling people how to do it, he told you to take an index card and write down 3 things that you wanted to achieve. Possibly a dollar amount. If there's a specific dollar amount that you need to get your goal achieved. It could be $100,000. It could be a certain amount of monthly income. It could be that you have to liquidate your assets and put yourself in a position to make the move. You can put down that dollar amount. But what we want to do is we want to have this goal, these big, hairy, audacious goals that don't conform to society. I want to permanently relocate to the Philippines, to Thailand. I want to meet the love of my life and enter an invigorating age gap relationship. I want to have an extensive social network in retirement. I want to arbitrage my pension and get 3 times the housing, 3 times the restaurant, 3 times the golf course, 3 times of everything for my money. Make a vision statement for yourself. Now, we're going to start a 30-day plan. It's very important that you write down crisply 3 goals you have. It could be, I wish to take a 30-day exploration trip to the Philippines and make an in-person meeting with several Filipinas or several women I've already started to video chat with. That could be part of it. But we want to write down these goals. Now, in the old days, what they said was at breakfast, you would write it down, you would read it. You would read your goals at breakfast. And then again, at lunch, you'd pull it out of your suit jacket and maybe the inside of your hat in the old days. You'd read it at lunch. And then again, you would read it at dinner. You're going to do this for 30 days straight. That's 90 separate times that you're going to read your vision statement. Now, it's 2024 and we don't do much on paper anymore. So I would just go, remind me every breakfast for the next 30 days that I want to take a 30-day exploration trip to the Philippines at 8 a.m. or at 6 a.m. And then I would have to do it 2 additional times. Remind me every day for the next 30 days at 12 noon. And I would say, remind me for the next 30 days at 7 p.m. And then that would automatically pop up on my iPhone at 7 a.m., noon, 7 p.m., and it would say, I wish to take a 30-day exploration trip to the Philippines. I wish to declutter my house, hold a yard sale, and sell my property. I wish to meet a age gap relationship Filipina and go to the Philippines and meet her. I wish to relocate and retire in the Philippines and get more for my money. But once you write these 3 things down, go ahead and set reminders on your iPhone so they come to you for the next 30 days. Now, my children were competitive swimmers and they got college scholarships. At one time, we thought they might go to the Olympics. And I would write down the goals for that season of swimming and, achieve this split, be first on the relay team, win the 10 and under national age group championship. And I would tape it to their mirror. So one of the other things you can do is write down these goals on a piece of paper and just go ahead and tape it to your bathroom mirror. So every day when you shave or every day when you wash your face, you read it again at that time of day that you just happen to be in the bathroom. So this is really important. Don't worry about how to achieve your goals. The answers will come to you. It's the focus on the goal, the mindset, the shifting, the power of a visualization, the power of the repetitive visualization. You're going to start to get it into your cellular level. When you go to sleep at night, it's going to seep into your dreams. You're going to wake up in the morning and you're going to have ideas of things you should investigate. You're going to have ideas of things you should do. You're going to go watch more YouTube videos. You're going to go do the how-to will all come together. Don't focus on the how-to. For 30 days, try and be your best person. Now, personally, years ago, after my divorce and a lot of self-examination, I became a little bit spiritual, and I latched on to Eckhart Tolle and the power of now. And he has this saying, which is, the past is over. Let it go. It's done. It's just over. So don't focus on the past. The future may never come. Like, keep your desires to a minimum and focus on the present. Your whole life is like 1,000 pages of present in a book. Every day, every bit of life is nothing but present moments that have stacked up. But he does say that, you do need to stop just focusing on what a beautiful sky and what a beautiful duck walks by and, just what a beautiful person is in front of me. You do need to book an airline ticket. You do need to pick up your dry cleaning. You do need to stop and do what's called clock time. And a lot of the things that you're procrastinating, a lot of the things that need to be done, you're not doing them because you're worried it doesn't conform. You're worried you might make mistakes. You're worried you might mess up. You're worried the girl's really a scammer when you meet her. You have all these concerns. A lot of these things revolve around clock time, using clock time effectively. And we have a lot of resources for you that can walk you through the clock time. But the reason you're not doing these clock time things, potentially, is because the desire, the visualization, the focus is lacking, and you have not gotten that goal to a real cellular level. People who launch successful businesses, successful products, people who become amazing athletes, they become overcome with their passion, with their desire. And what we want to do today is we want to teach you how to get a touch of that, to get enough of that for you to get from A to B. Now, I have this saying I always said is, nobody wants to walk across the Sahara Desert and die of thirst and be found a skeleton 10 years later because they had an idiot idea how to go from A to B. They didn't want to conform. They wanted to get to the other side of the desert, and there was no way to get there, but they walked anyway, and they just were found dead. Nobody wants that. But if you could meet a man and he had camels to sell you, and he had just successfully taken other men across the desert, and they were living happy, and the other side of the desert was Nirvana, Shangri-La, and he could offer you a camel for a reasonable price, and he could tell you that he successfully takes people across the desert, and he could give you references to check where other people have crossed the desert. Well, you might sign up for one of those camels, and you might take that journey. But before that, if you had a burning desire to change your life, if you had gone through this visualization process, if it had seeped into your pores, every essence of your being, you would take the camel, you would make the journey, you would arrive at your goal. Your business would succeed and be launched. Your relationship would prosper. You would meet that girl. You would make that money. That's how we achieve things in our life. A very small percentage of people know how to do this. And that's what we want to do today. Seek and you shall find. Stop waiting. Start the vision statement, the visualization process. Start a 30-day process where you will be your best person. You will make more effort. You will always have good karma. You will do the right thing. You will pursue your own goals. You will try and be your best person for the next 30 days. You will read your vision statement in the morning. You will read it again at noon. You will read it again at dinner. You will have it on your bathroom mirror. You will go to bed, and it will seep into your very being and live your best life. When people ask you a favor, when you help other people, when you pick up the trash, do everything you can for 30 days, the best that you can. Try and allow success in every aspect of your life to be there. It's a 30-day experiment. Start to envision the life you want, the life as you want it to become. The power of visualization is the key. All things are possible if you believe. Now, let's assume that you're already motivated, and if you use a vision statement and you do review it morning, noon, and night, it does seep into your pores. You've already been watching YouTubes, which gives a lot of how-to. It takes a lot of the fear away from doing this transition. You do need to know your hows. And I just want to remind you, Chrissy and I have produced and edited 3 major videos, extensive how to transform your life, how to make it happen. The 90-day plan is just that. What you need to do to make an exploratory visit to the Philippines, starting 90 days ahead of time, banking, SIM cards, transportation, flights, websites, which dating sites, how to date, how to meet a Filipina, what to do when you meet her parents. It's A to Z, budget estimates. It's got everything you want. We have another video called Ticket to Paradise. This is a 1-year plan, and I have 70 bullet points broken down into finance, broken down into transportation, healthcare, hobbies, where you should live in the Philippines, where you might want to investigate, where to go. It's a 1-year plan. I have a PDF document I can send to you for free if you email me at flymetothephilippines@gmail.com. Again, it's flymetothephilippines@gmail.com. And I will send you the PDF with all 70 of these points. It's a 1-year planning document, the things you need to get your arms around. And then I have another video Chrissy and I produced called the 30-day exploration plan. Let's just say you haven't met a Filipina, you haven't done the 1-year planning, but by gosh, you have fire in your belly. You're going to come to the Philippines, and I give you 3 budgets as to what it's going to cost, how that month's going to look, what you're going to do to try and find Filipinas, how you're going to explore your potential retirement sites. And then there's other resources like once you come, how to find housing, how not to sign long-term leases. We have a lot of resources, and there's plenty of other vlogs with resources, where to live. It's all there. The how-to is the easy part. Now, in a perfect world, your older brother would have already made this move 2 years ago, or your uncle or your father would be living here, and you wouldn't have to take a leap of faith. You would just come visit them, and you would see them living their best life. They would, by example, they would be teaching you, oh my God, this is so possible. And it would be very easy for you to transform. You might not need a visualization statement. You might not need to practice your visual. You just go like, hey, Dad did it. I'm doing it too. It's so obvious. I was there. I saw it. I saw his girlfriend. I saw his wife. I saw my brother's life. He's golfing for $25 a day. I'm paying $150 here in LA. You would say, I'm going. But most of us are not lucky enough to have a friend. We have a YouTube friend like myself, like some of the other people who've come before me, and they we live vicariously, and we consider them our friends. I hope you consider me your friend, and we answer pointed questions. You send questions in on the comments. You have a healthcare question. You have a question about Iloilo. You have a question about Baguio. You have a question about the transportation issue, where I book my flights. I answer every single comment. We have 14,000 plus subscribers in just 9 months, and I answer every single comment that we receive at this point. I can't promise I'll do it forever, but 100% of your comments I answer. But if you had a friend, you could get on a plane, you could land in Manila. He would tell you to walk across the Sky Bridge. He would tell you to stay on Newport Boulevard for $45. He would tell you where to go in BGC. He would tell you what to do when you're in Baguio. he would have done it all before you, and he would tell you where to go. And I do offer consulting services for a very reasonable price. And I just think the best case scenario is you have somebody that you can talk it through, make sure your plans are solid. Maybe you got a forged passport that's been sent to you. Maybe you need travel itinerary plans, and I can easily save you my fee in booking flights and telling you where to book and where to go and where to stay. Maybe you want to avoid getting stuck in hour-long traffic, and you want to avoid being in bad neighborhoods. Maybe you want to check before you send that Filipino money, even though it sounds like you should do it. Maybe you just want to talk to somebody, and there's nobody to talk to because everybody's about conformity. Nobody wants to hear about your sending money to a 23-year-old in the Philippines. Who can you talk to about that? Who can you share the documents that she sent you? How can you talk about which resort to go to with that 25-year-old girl? I'm available, and I can be there every step of the way. Once you land, I'll give you tech support and other things. So keep that in mind. Visualization is a very effective tool to deal with procrastination and lead you towards concrete plans. It's very, very important for you to identify your core values, your core goals, knowing exactly what it is you truly desire, working through that process, writing it down, making your list. That's going to move you closer to achieving your goal. In order to achieve a major life change, we need to effectively harness this type of tool, this type of visualization, mission statement, one that we review daily, one that seeps into our being. Just close your eyes for a minute and imagine that you are successfully transformed, that you have moved permanently, quasi-permanently to Thailand, to the Philippines. Imagine where you are living. Imagine the woman that you're having breakfast with. Imagine being with an old school female like your mother was in the 1950s. You know, women who didn't expect to leave the house and go to work for 40 or 50 hours and be the boss. Women who didn't want to have an argument all the time. Women who didn't want to be the boss when it comes to money. Women who were feminine, and women who worshiped their family and valued relationships over everything else. Imagine golfing with your buddies for $25 a day with a caddy. Imagine going to a 5-star restaurant and paying $22 for two. For two. With drinks, okay, $27. Imagine the buddies that you're playing cards with. Imagine going to the waterfall with your friends. Imagine going to the beach with the expat community. Every month there's an expat meetup where new expats are coming to town. Your buddies are there with their friends. The Filipinos all go off and speak Visayan together and drink their sweet drinks and eat their desserts. The guys all catch up. You have camaraderie. And, imagine that all that tribal polarization that politics has kind of brought into your life is gone. The smart expats that you're hanging around with, they don't want to talk about politics in America. They left America to leave that polarization behind. They're here and they don't have that many years left. We're here. We don't need to argue about your politics or my politics. We're here to enjoy the beach. We're here to be with a beautiful Filipina. Imagine to have that type of stress gone from your life. Imagine that when you go to bed at night, you have a beautiful woman at your side who loves you and cherishes you. Imagine your arbitrage. Imagine the value of your pension going 3 or 4 times farther. Now, once you are committed to the secret of visualization, once you've written down your mission statement, once you start reviewing it every day, it's a little bit like starting a diet. Sometimes you don't want to tell anybody you're starting a diet because then when you break it 3 days or 2 days or 4 days in, then they're going to bust your chops and say, what happened? What happened to those big, hairy, audacious goals you had? You're eating ice cream. What's the story? But other times you decide to tell people that you trust, people that you value, and you want them to know that you have these goals because you want them to see you work towards your goal. I want to start a new business. You're going to tell people, I want to move to the Philippines. You're going to tell people. You might even ask for their help and their support. So at some point early in the process, think about who you might share it with, who will be supportive, who will hold you to account so you don't become a quitter and you don't have these demons that have prevented you from succeeding in the past showing up again. a big major life change comes with a lot of unknowns. You may not even have met the woman that you're thinking of living with. You may not have ever been to the Philippines. You may not have ever left your country, your home country. International travel, 17-hour plane rides. Oh my God, it sounds so horrible. You have to embrace the unknown. You have to come with the knowledge that once you get it in every pore of your body that you want to succeed, that you will figure out a strategy for 17-hour plane rides. You will find a place to live that will make you happy. This is my third property in 7 months that I moved into. I wasn't happy the first time, but I didn't give up. Having the patience and the determination to work through the unknown, not giving up, is really, really important. And the same thing applies for meeting a Filipina. I've mentioned this many, many times. The people that have met Filipinas that are happily married, they all say the same thing. Don't chase after the first shiny object that comes along. Chrissy says, when you're judging a singing contest and the first singer's really good, don't give her a 10. Give her an 8.8. Leave some room for some other singers to come along in the contest that might outshine the first one. And if they're not as good as the first one, they can get an 8.6. But don't just immediately give the first girl a 10. The first city you see in the Philippines, you may not want to give it a 10 just because it's acceptable. So have confidence that even though you will face unknowns, even though you haven't met that ideal Filipina yet, that you will work through these unknowns, that you will have patience. You know what you're looking for. Maybe you want a woman like Chrissy. Maybe you want a low maintenance girlfriend. Maybe you want somebody a little younger. Maybe you want you have to have your need to have list. Last night I met an expat at our card game, new in town. And what struck me about him? He's been coming to the Philippines for the last 3 years on and off. He knows exactly what he wants. And he didn't meet a woman who jumped off the page before he came and started to transform his life. He has a list of 5 things that are absolutely essential. He wants a woman who has a similar faith to him. He wants a woman that's not too young and not too immature. He wants a certain number of things. He knows, and if they don't meet those 5 criteria, that's it. He doesn't pursue them. He has a vision of the ideal woman that he's looking for, and he knows the type of life that he's after. He's in the Philippines for 4 months this time, and he has this mindset. He knows exactly what he wants, and how to achieve it is the secondary issue. He's in the process of working through how to achieve his goal. And that is the thing that strikes me most. So many guys, if they don't meet someone like Chrissy, they don't make the trip. I might have been someone like that. Without meeting an ideal woman who jumped off the page, I might not have bought the airplane ticket and come to the Philippines. I had been here once without knowing anybody, and for 6 days when I was on an around the world journey. But my advice to men is don't wait until you meet the ideal Filipina. Just come. Find a way to get here for a month if you can. If you're working, come for 17 days. Get here. Touch it. Smell it. See what it's like. Work through these unknowns. Let this process proceed. The PDF with 70 action items to consider, a 1-year plan. Check out the video, the 90-day plan. Check out the 30-day exploration. I hope that you will all take advantage of this technique of visualization, making sure you read it every day for 30 days. Put it on your mirror. Let it get into your pores. Write me with your comments. Thank you for all your support. I wish you the best.